So again, for me, it's like having these types of, iconic shots that can, just be timeless, right? They can go anywhere. And to your point, speaking of technology, right?
Wow.
This shot was made possible because of eye detection AF, right? The capability to let the camera focus on the eye, and I just let the camera float and the field float. This is 1DX Mark III using live view and eye detection AF.
I have an admission to make. I've been using that shooting some surfing, and I've been just blown away because before I was always the single point shooter. So I would find my point and I would know exactly where I was. I'd composite, anchor to the right in this shot or anchor to the left, top, bottom, wherever it is, putting it right on the person's face. Moving it took a few seconds. Yes, the 1DX3 now has this amazing touch feel button, but putting it into the live view with the AF like face detection is scary because I'm moving so quickly and it is so accurate. Like I want to say it's like a 95 to like 98% like accuracy. Like there's always a one little off or something like that, but that's the beauty of shooting so many that I haven't like missed that. And I am moving so much quicker on the move. It's terrifying. Like you compose this shot, you can compose so much quicker. It would have taken me 10, 15 seconds to focus point if I was shooting it regular mode. So, scary.
Or even me moving my autofocus points over because I could be fast.
Yeah.
And even if we're in a camera, let's say for argument's sake, where that DSLR autofocus point would still be there, right? Just for argument's sake, it's still better because for me in that 1DX3, like you said, you're out of that frame now, right? You're pushed back. I'm seeing what's happening. And that's how I was able to see soccer and USA. If I was in the viewfinder, I'd still have my autofocus point there, but I wouldn't have seen soccer pop up and because it was coming down the LED boards. It was following down the, never would have seen that and I never would have waited. So I just waited for it. And the same thing I'm finding oftentimes when I'm actually doing in live or in our mirrorless cameras as well is I'm finding that I'm focusing and because again, it focuses immediately for you and I'm floating my frame to give those nice like vertical crops that have like nice a lot of negative space because it's as simple as click, 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 and then just click, click, click because it keeps the focus. I don't have to move my autofocus point, so
I feel like I'm cheating and it's like,
it does. It really does.
It streamlined a shoot I did this past weekend so much, allowing me to shoot in such a different way of like holding up and composing. Like I almost feel like I'm cheating. There's still a lot of other technical aspects to it and exposure and all those things, but holy cow, it's incredible technology.
It definitely does. And to that point, it feels like you're getting away with stuff that you shouldn't be able to get away with because you're seeing it before it happens. And again, similar to what's happening here, we can see a moment and say, oh, I'm going to focus where I want my focus to get this amazing iconic shot and then flip it, in a moment and focus on the fans instead of the player because you can with a tap to focus. Because that's how I did this. I was running as actually, if you watch the replay of this goal, you see me in the sidelines running because I'm running. And as I'm running, I hold up the camera and I tap to focus and then I take the shot because there was no way I was going to hold a camera to my eye as I was running. So just practically, I held the camera up and I put it out and then I started taking the photos. So it's definitely a great way to go and great way to see this. So we'll end on that because I know we have a couple questions and I definitely want to get to those. But it's for sure. We'll start with Peter's question because it'll kind of bring us out to wrap things out. Do you think photographers are have more competition in the market with technology? I don't think it's so much the technology. I think it's that everyone likes photography, right? And that everyone is enjoying photography. So, I think that there's as much competition as there was out there before. I think that we just have access to it more and we can see it more. And for me, you can yin and yang it any way you want. You can say, there's more competition. It's going to be more challenging. And you can say, there's more competition. There's more inspiration, right? There's more things that I can get inspired by. Or, I always tell people, it's like, check out what I'm doing. Feel free to, take any of it. I'll give you as much information as you want, but, with the goal of let's all push each other and help each other get better for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then Peter's asking, how do you adjust your technique for shooting outdoors with gray or bad weather days? Ooh, interesting. So, for me, when I think about, gray or bad weather, first of all, I don't get much in Southern California, thankfully. You don't get much in Hawaii either, but growing up in Orlando, I definitely got a lot, and I had a lot. Basically, every afternoon was inclement weather, and I loved shooting in rain. For me, it's just being prepared, knowing either what your gear, you feel comfortable putting your gear in or around, or just having the protective gear, having some rain gear, buying those disposable ones. And just like when I was in Orlando, I had a disposable rain cover at all times for my 7200, because you just never know. Rain would come, and that would be the one lens I could just put it out there and be ready to go. So that's definitely something for me. And then again, that I didn't just follow my same premise. I follow the light. So open aperture if I want to show more, and then shutter speed. Am I stopping the rain? I used to shoot with Orlando City. I used to shoot in rain all the time. And sometimes I would want the rain to just not be there, and sometimes freeze it. And in Hawaii, you shoot in rain all the time.
Hey, we have rain all the time. Hard rain, 15 minutes, gone. You know what I mean? Like, that's how Hawaii goes. It's the rain's coming. I mean, thank goodness, like, the bodies are weather sealed on the cameras. I've had many a times where you're just out there shooting. You have the rain and keep shooting. Also, I love using my water housing. So I use them on multiple occasions, even on land, if there's heavy rain or different things like that. I think, like John was saying, looking at your exposure different, when you're constantly changing on the light, you need to always be aware of those exposures and those different things, because there's so much happening with that. So do not let yourself go overexposed. Do not let yourself go too underexposed when those comes and it's too dark. So having those kind of things just aware, it's a simple check of your meter. It's a simple check of making sure that you have that right shot. And that's the beauty of digital, you guys. Use it as a reference. Do not use it as a color calibrated monitor, knowing that, oh, this is your thing. Use it as your kind of like, this is what it is. Just make sure it's not one way or the other on that kind of, so yeah.
Yeah, Dave's like, no, we don't get misty days like that. No, I mean, but again, our inclement weather is a little bit different as well. And again, it is to Zach's point, know your gear and know what it's capable of, and then figure out, do you feel comfortable pushing it a little bit further?
Absolutely.
I've got to tell you, my first digital camera that I purchased was a purchase because I got mowed over by a wave when shooting on the sand, and I was in Florida, New Smyrna Beach, where we don't have big waves. You know what I mean? And it's again, and that's why I started learning about sets and waves and things like that, because I was like, I need to learn when this is going to come up. So again, it's use those experiences, right, to gain knowledge.
Absolutely, love it. Cool. Got some other questions there. A couple more we'll take as we kind of wrap this up.
Yeah, absolutely. Zach, Ron looks like he asked one for you.
Yep. Mirrorless in the ocean, just getting used to R5 right now. I shot a little bit with the R6, big fan of both of the cameras and utilizing them. I think I will be incorporating them a lot more into my equipment and using them on a regular basis. Still loving the 1DX3. For me and my extreme surf, the battery is hard to beat. That thing, honestly, several days I use that on that battery. So it's something to me that when I'm out in the water, I'm using a 256 or 512 gig card. And so why would I want to limit myself on anything like that? And I know, battery technology is going to catch up to all those other things and, the R5 and all that. But right now, that 1DX3 battery, days. I have multiple ones of those. I don't even have to think or worry about that. So to me, when I go in the water, having that body that is just rock solid, ready for weather, pounding, anything that's needed, and that battery, 1DX3 still for me in extreme situations, but I am loving playing with the R5, and I'm looking forward to creating a lot more with that.
Yeah, definitely. And to that point, for all of you that are here, make sure, if you have not already, jump to Zach's page and check out that awesome slow motion video that you did at sunset. That was awesome. And again, it's so cool. It's what is awesome about it is, one could look at it and say, yeah, it's a sunset thing, but it's like, yes, but look at the light and look at the technology and look at the focus and look at that. And remember the fact that Zach's in the water doing this, so like all those things, it is super, super stunning. So I'm very, very impressed. And again, to that point, I think, that's where the technology is enabling us to do it's to go to places and to capture things that weren't possible before. Like when you were out in the eddy and were able to shoot it with the 70D and transfer images from the eddy. If we were to say that now, you would say, well, yeah, of course, I could freaking live stream from the eddy right now. And that's the type of, so again, of course, technology is going to your point, keep growing, but it's staying at that forefront, which is always a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Completely agree. And yeah, that's, looking forward to it. I am going to be discussing a little bit more of my R5 images this Thursday for Canon for the Palm Springs Photo Festival. So it is free, and the link will be in my bio to join me on Thursday this week. I think, John, do you have any other speeches or talks with the Palm Springs this week?
Yeah, I have Palm Springs Photo Festival again on Thursday, so I'll be doing that as well. And definitely feel free to swing by that. And John, just to answer your question very, very quickly, do you Wi-Fi your sports images over to a laptop during games? What we actually do is we now send up to an FTP. So we will use the FTP transfer either through any camera, and then just send it right up. Now there's a secondary way of doing it. If your camera, let's say, can't do an FTP, you could transfer them to a third-party app on a smartphone and do it that way, and then have it push up to an FTP through your phone as well. But FTP is our solution. Then our editor can be anywhere, especially with post-COVID games. The way that we're working now is that our editor is somewhere else. They're not even on the property. So yeah, it's very cool to be able to just literally take a photo, hit set, and within 30 seconds, it's posted on their social media. So that's how quick we have it down to a process now. Pretty cool.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, thank you so much, John, for joining me and for being here. And again, helping me with this whole amazing concept and sharing platform. And as well as David, thank you so much again. Everyone, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week on Between Sets. Thank you very much, John.
Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Between Sets. Make sure to like and subscribe to be tuned in on all future episodes. Thank you.